Al-Shabaab. The Somali-based militant group Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for the attacks on the Westgate shopping centre in Nairobi on the 21st of September. The group chose this particular target because it's popular among Western expats and wealthy Kenyan families. The militants, who numbered between 10 and 15, killed at least 67 people, injured over 175, and held others hostage for days. They said the attack was retaliation against Kenya's military intervention in southern Somalia, serving alongside other regional forces in the African Union mission, AMISOM. Al-Shabaab, which translates as the youth in Arabic, emerged as the military offshoot of the Islamic Courts Union in 2006, fighting Ethiopian forces in Somalia with support from Eritrea. They say they want to establish an Islamic caliphate in Somalia with strict Sharia law and to remove foreign forces from Somalia. Until recently, Somalia had been in effect ungoverned since the fall of Siad Barre's military rule in 1991, except for a short period under the briefly popular Islamic Courts Union. Its regions were split between rival clans, and it was through this power vacuum that groups like Al-Shabaab have established themselves. The group is predominantly made up of young Somali men with some foreign sympathizers. They have links to other terrorist networks throughout the Middle East and Africa, to groups such as Al-Qaeda and Boko Haram, and at the height of their powers, Al-Shabaab controlled much of southern Somalia. Their presence in Mogadishu and Kismayo led one UN report in 2011 to estimate their wealth at $70 to $100 million. They have carried out suicide attacks and bombings targeting government offices, the UN office in Mogadishu, and anything associated with AMISOM. This includes 2 suicide bombings in Uganda's capital, Kampala, in 2010, their first outside of Somalia. AMISOM forces have managed to push Al-Shabaab from Mogadishu and Kismayo, reducing them to guerrilla warfare tactics and attacking soft targets, but they are relevant in many rural areas and remain a threat in others. Kenya's adventure into Somalia is motivated by the need to create a buffer zone between Kenya and Somalia in order to protect Kenya's 2 key industries, shipping and tourism. The buffer zone is a territory called Jubaland, which is a recognized semi-autonomous state similar to the autonomous northern regions of Puntland and Somaliland. Al-Shabaab is reported to have tensions. Some of its members want to keep the group's operations and agenda Somali-related, limiting its scope to the country, while others want to make it a regional East African struggle, or even stretch beyond this. The internationalist wing appears to be winning. The September 21st attack in Nairobi reveals the extent of the risks of Kenya's military operations in Somalia. Some believe the attack shows a growing sophistication within the group, but what it really exposes is how vulnerable Kenya's security services are. Kenya's role in the invasion of Somalia always ran the risk of significant blowback. An attack was always imminent, and it was a question of when rather than if. The group has managed to capture international attention, with foreign nationals from Europe and North America reported to be in their ranks, and a very strong affiliation with Al-Qaeda to help orchestrate their strikes. It has raised the alert of an attack outside of Africa, though it still remains unlikely. The aftermath of this can go one of 2 ways. Kenya can lick its wounds and pull out of Somalia, essentially giving in to Al-Shabaab. Or, along with its AMISOM allies and with greater backing from Europe and the US, Kenya can respond with more pressure in flushing Al-Shabaab out of Somalia permanently. Either way, Al-Shabaab is going to get stronger and more confident and thus become a more potent threat in East Africa. This has caused a big geopolitical headache, with Africa potentially becoming a new front for these militant groups. Somalia's first oil deal further complicates the situation in the region.